Hello, friends. Welcome back. You're getting me 2 episodes in a row. Kim Walker as your host. Again, I kicked Brian out of here and I was like, I get to do some of these too, but we really need to do them together again. That's always been fun. But today I get to talk about a topic I really love, and that is the advisory panel, customer advisory panel. So before we jump into that, let me just pause for a moment and give our sponsors a shout out.
ShopBoss is software built by shop owners for shop owners. ShopBoss offers real solutions backed by real experience. Simply put, it's shop management software that works your way. When customers are in the lobby and cars are on the lift, you don't have time for a learning curve. That's where ShopBoss comes in, with profit boosting features that work the way you need them to right out of the box. From built in DVI to robust customizable reporting, ShopBoss makes everything about running a shop work more smoothly. Plus, with their Boss Pay Payments feature powered by 360 Payments, you can enter the era of totally paperless payments. From text to pay, remote payments, and consumer financing options, to compliance, surcharging, and now even offering PayPal and Venmo options. Everything is built right into ShopBoss. Plus, everything is backed by a fantastic support team with one goal in mind: your success. Be the boss with ShopBoss. Independent auto repair shops, get ready to transform your business with AppFueled. It's time for your professional auto service shop to have its own customer loyalty app. AppFueled will build an app that launches a custom loyalty program for your shop in 30 days or less, fully integrated with your point of sale system. Bring Fortune 500 level customer retention strategies to your business without the Fortune 500 budget. Many shops are enjoying the benefits. Our app engages your customers with a loyalty ladder, enticing them to climb the next rung, coming back more often and spending more each visit, all with your own app. Build loyalty with your customers to your brand and boost your shop's growth. Get your first app in 30 days or less, all without breaking the bank. Ready to start? Let AppFueled take your business to the next level. Go to appfueled.com or meet founder Jeremy Glasgow and book your complimentary app vision session at appfueled.com/Jeremy. That's AppFueled.com/Jeremy.
Okay, so here's the problem we're going to fix today. The problem we're going to fix is helping you make decisions in your shop, helping you know what your customers think about your crazy ideas, getting ideas from them. So, we're going to unpack that. Not only did we have a customer advisory panel in our shop, Peak Automotive, but we have one at Shop Marketing Pros as well. So, I'm going to share with you a lot of things about this. So, sit back, relax, listen. Shoot me your questions to podcast@shopmarketingpros.com, and we will answer those questions or maybe record a podcast based off of it. So, when we had our shop, I wish that I could remember where I got the idea to do an advisory panel of customers. And I feel like I sat on somebody else's advisory panel. I don't know, y'all. It's been a hot minute. And as you know, I'm 52 and menopausal, and my memory is just messing me up right now. But when we decided to do our own customer advisory panel, we knew that we wanted to talk to them about growth, about finding more customers, getting feedback from them. And, on one hand, you think, I only want to hear from my best customers, which truthfully, that's what we did. We handpicked like 10 of our best customers, but I think it's really important that you listen to the ones who complain, that you listen to the ones who maybe are not your favorite or what you would call your best customers. You don't want the ones that just always want to tell you how great they are. You want the ones who are going to tell you what you don't know and need to know. So, those are just some of the reasons why you might want to consider having a customer advisory panel. So, as I mentioned, one thing that's critical is deciding who's going to be on that panel. And again, a lot of people assume that you want to have your best customers, your top tier, your loudest customers, or your friends. But I think you need to have a good mix. You need to have you need to have those people. You need to have your top tier clients. You need to have your best customers, but you also want to make sure that you have people on your customer advisory panel that are really going to speak the truth and really tell you exactly what you need to hear. We have been systematic and intentional about that at Shop Marketing Pros. We have some of our absolute best top tier clients on that panel, but we're also looking for top tier people that are not just going to be like, yes, that's a great idea, but also people who will challenge us and really speak the truth and say what we need to hear. You want to keep in mind your ideal client profile customers. Like, really think of the ones like where you're like, I want more of that customer. You want to hear from them. So think about the traits of those customers, right? If you're a specialty shop, you need to keep that in mind. If you are female focused and you want to attract more female customers, keep that in mind. If you're looking for the traveling salesperson who is really entertaining clients in their vehicles. They're traveling a lot. They are more on the professional, white collar, traveling salesman or executive. Think about that ideal client profile. Think of the traits. Think of what is important that the panel represents your best customers, not just your average ones. Maybe pull out a Google Doc and make a list of them. For us, we spend a lot of time with our customer success managers asking them, of all of the clients you're working with, which ones would be a great fit on our customer advisory panel? Which ones do we want to trust with maybe insider information services we're thinking about offering? If you are thinking of expanding services in some kind of way, you want to have those types of people on your panel. So brainstorm a list of who they might be. If you want 7 or 10 people on your panel, then you might want to have a list of 15 or 20 people because there are going to be some people who are going to say, no, I don't want to do that. All right. The other thing to think about and consider is you need to be grateful for these people spending time with you. And so I want you to consider incentivizing them. What are you going to do to honor the time that they're giving you? It could be recognition. For us, we had people who loved the idea of being publicized as being on our customer advisory panel. It could be that they have personal one on one sort of time with the owner of the shop and they love feeling heard on that level. It could be small perks like a small discount. It could be that they get early access to new services or different offerings that you might have. It could be about building that relationship. People don't usually join for the incentive, but they join because they feel valued. And so, what can you offer in an incentive that will help them to feel like you value their time? Some of the things that surprised us with regard to our customer advisory panel at our shop, our client advisory panel here at Shop Marketing Pros is just having that time and how much they gave to us, the honest feedback, the great ideas that we never considered, but also hearing, and I'm going to get to this it's kind of the next thing I'm going to talk about, but hearing from them how they felt about something that we thought was going to be a great idea. And they said, no, that's not a great idea. So there are surprises that may come. They appreciate being asked. And again, just more honesty than expected. I love that for us, and you might not have this because you are B2C and we are B2B, but our clients are business owners too. So they're really giving us great feedback and ideas. And it's just been so fantastic. All right. So fantastic that it's time to refresh our client advisory panel, and several of them wanted to stay on for another year. And that was surprising to me. Okay, so I'm going to share with you one time that our advisory panel, actually here at Shop Marketing Pros, it saved us from making maybe a bad decision. I love, maybe like some shop owners love like your cities, top 40 best of this or best of that. I think I was at one of our agency coaching groups, and they were talking about these awards, best workplaces, Inc. 500, Inc. 5,000, all these things. And I remember getting excited about it thinking, we can have that. Like, why aren't we applying for that honor? And we brought it to I think it might have been the Inc. 5,000 list, like fastest growing. And it sounds exciting. It sounds awesome. And we brought it to our advisory panel and they were like, no, we don't want to see that you're the fastest growing. We've been bitten by fastest growing before. We would rather see something else rather than just how fast you're growing because growth can scare people. And so it was very surprising to us. We were planning to move forward with that, but our customer advisory panel unanimously said that would kind of maybe be a turnoff. And so our advisory panel saved us, and we were so appreciative of that. Let's talk about running your advisory panel. So, a lot of people don't do it because they think it's just such a big deal, but it's really not. And what we did when we had our shop was we had a small group, very small, and we would treat them to dinner and have a conversation. And when I first chose the people, I shared with them, here's what we're thinking about doing, just getting together. I thought it was going to be once a month. That was too much. So we did quarterly. And it was just Brian and I and a couple of clients. And here today in 2026, what we're doing at Shop Marketing Pros is also quarterly. We have 7 shops on our advisory panel. We are very much sticklers for keeping it to a 1-hour meeting. It is on Zoom because, unlike an auto repair shop where we're in our local community, for us, our clients are nationwide. So it is on Zoom. We have a handful of customers and we are doing it quarterly. We did say that we were going to meet up like as a group at ASTA in the fall and Vision in the spring. The problem is not everybody goes to both things. And so we ended up just keeping it to a 1-hour Zoom meeting quarterly. And so you can complicate this part, but you don't need to. We created a Google document with an agenda. We share that, like, this is what we're talking about. The beginning of the meeting, we're going over, kind of chit chat, hi, hello, but we're jumping right into from the S&P team, we've been collecting items of discussion. And so we will present that to the team, but we also leave space in the meeting for them to talk to us. What services are we not offering that you want us to offer? What are we offering that you don't feel is beneficial? Or, we're giving them a chance to talk about concerns or comments or really just open ended. So we're talking to them about ideas, but we're getting feedback from them as well. So you can complicate this as much as you want to, but you do not have to. And I am an all in, go big or go home kind of chick. But when it comes to the advisory panel, we're keeping it super simple by design, very intentional. I will say that we learned this lesson twice. I forgot about it. I forgot about learning this lesson with our shop when I started the advisory panel with our shop marketing pros. And that is to have like a rolling system. It's very smart. You kind of always keep ideas fresh. You prevent the group overthinking. It maintains some continuity. Relationships build really nicely. It's almost like your Chamber of Commerce board of directors, right? Some people come on at a time when others are staying, some are rolling off. So instead of the entire advisory panel changing every time, you want to have like, if you're starting it for the first time, have some people commit to doing it for a full year, have some people commit to 2 years so that in a year, some are rolling off. And so again, just one idea, take it or leave it if that works for you. There were, as I've said, some of our clients that really enjoyed the time with us and our leadership team and other shops together so much that they chose to stay on. And that is a very powerful sign. It shows that it's creating value not just for us, but for them as well. So you may find that you have some customers who are like, I really want to stay here. Here's some questions you can think about asking your advisory panel on a regular basis. You might even create a Google form, send this out to them before the meeting, and discuss the results in the meeting. Um, but here are some examples. What do you value most about our shop? What frustrates you most about auto repair in general? What would make you recommend us more often? What services do you wish we offered? What communication do you want more or less of? Those are just some to get your ideas and kind of get the ideas flowing. You certainly can get rid of those. You can create your own, add to however you want. All right. So if there's a shop owner listening today who's like, I think I want to do this, the very first step that I would say for you to take is to be practical, simple, and actionable. Identify 5 to 7 of your best customers and invite them. Whether you're meeting at your shop, I would say take them to dinner. If Shop Marketing Pros was in a one geographic region, I would definitely be meeting for dinner. But we are not. We're meeting on Zoom because our clients are all over the country. Listen, I would love you to email us if you have your own customer advisory panel, or maybe if you don't, and this podcast inspired you and caused you to want to do it. I'd love to hear from you. Again, our email is podcast@shopmarketingpros.com. I know this one was kind of probably on the shorter side. We're probably only looking about, I don't know, 15, 16 minutes, but we definitely highlighted why would you want to have an advisory panel? What does it look like? How do you do it? What questions are you asking? And then the logistics of it. So, again, we'd love to hear from you. I do appreciate you listening to the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast on the Auto Repair Podcast Network. There are some other great shows on the network, and you can find them all at the Automotive Repair Podcast Network.com or on the awesome free mobile app, which you can find on the website and listen ad free. All right, friends, tune in for another episode next week. Until then, go fill those bays.